This is one of those movies that you see as a kid that kind of just stays with you forever. Brought to us by the amazing Jim Henson and Frank Oz. The Dark Crystal is the story of a land far away that has a crystal which kind of nourishes the land. One day it cracks and the shard goes missing. Suddenly we have the evil Skeksis and the peaceful mystics.
In a place outside time lies a mystical realm of sound and vision. A wondrous civilization. Where good and evil struggle to possess the Dark Crystal.
The evil Skeksis are the ones that want to rule the world with terror and fear. Evil bastards. They kind of look like rotting crows. And the mystics are more of a cross between a lizard and a turtle. There are some truly creative things in this movie, and the mind of Jim Henson has created quite an amazing world. Everything in this is animatronic and puppetry, which you don't really see a lot of these days. No digital effects, guys. This is a 1982 film. I was about 10 years old when I first saw this one. And it's just amazing. It's really well done, simple fantasy tale. Jim Henson's Muppets, his creations, they're timeless. And we've got The Muppet Show, Fraggle Rock, and everything he's done in between, Star Wars, and of course Frank Oz with his amazing voice work, primarily known as Yoda, does do some fantastic voice work in this as well. I could go into the cast list, but it's just so many people collaborating on like one particular character at a time. You got the voice work, then the puppetry, the facial control. It's just exponential how many people are involved in the creation of this magical wonderland. It still holds up really well now. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen this one. It's an old movie, yeah. In the 4K HDR transfer, yeah, there's a lot of film grain in this. It's an older movie, but the HDR does really shine, and the movie has never looked better. You can see all the nuances in the fabric. The facial animations are beautiful. The special effects, although they're very dated, are still quite colourful. So the HDR really does shine quite a bit in this transfer. It's gorgeous to look at. Like I said, it's never looked better. Now, what I love about this movie primarily is just its childlike wonderment. It kind of just gets you to revisit your inner child. There's so much innocence about this film. It's very black and white. You got the evil Skeksis on one side and the peaceful mystics in the other. And then we got the Gelflings in the middle. We got Jen and Kira, who are on a quest to find the shard, which will heal the crystal, heal the land, and bring the Skeksis and the mystics back together again. I'm not going to go into any plot spoilers here. You have to see this movie. There's a new TV series coming on Netflix fairly soon too, so watching this movie I'm sure will benefit those who want to kind of dive into the series. And if not, then hopefully the series will kind of awaken a curiosity for those who have not seen the movie to go and check it out. It's a classic for a reason. Jim Henson and Frank Oz are just a marriage made in heaven, and there are just so many similarities here. Like, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you're going to see some familiar stuff in this. Well, for instance, when a mystic passes away into the Force, the same thing happens as what did with Yoda. The creature just vanishes and just leaves their clothes behind. So there are a lot of things that you'll kind of just nod and think, yeah, Star Wars. This potentially could even take place in the Star Wars universe. I mean, who's not to say? So yeah, so The Dark Crystal is just one of those first fantasy movies. I think it was one of the movies that actually introduced me to fantasy, to be honest. It's just so many bizarre creatures, wonderful creations, simple story, good versus evil, and it's done really well. The Dark Crystal pretty much set the standard for this kind of film. We had Krull as well around the same time, and The Never-Ending Story appeared not much longer after this. All these movies are kind of out of the same mold, and they're just wonderful. They really are. It kind of just made me realize how much I enjoy the movies I see as a kid. And yeah, sometimes you revisit these films and they do fall a little flat, but I'm so happy to report that The Dark Crystal still holds up really well. Yeah, some of the special effects that they do use in this, very dated, but the puppetry is just masterful. It really is. What they've done over 30 years ago is still benchmark quality it really is. Jim Henson was just the master. So giving the Dark Crystal a score out of 10, yeah, I'm going to give it a 9. It's just a wonderful, simple fantasy tale about a couple gelflings, kind of which are like a cross between a hobbit and an elf. Yeah, there's a lot of Lord of the Rings in this as well. Tolkien would have loved this movie. And it's just fun. It's just a simple tale done well, and it really is fun. Kids today would love this still, I think. It just is so magical. So yeah, definitely check it out. If you've not seen The Dark Crystal, dive in. If not, what are you doing? You know, guys, thanks for checking into my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, throw me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.